Greetings, everyone. We want to welcome you to New Thought Talk Show, where we talk about new things and perhaps give you new insight or new thought. And I have with me my boy Edwin Brown and my boy T Fish here. We're going to talk about dun 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 prayer. Is there power in prayer? And not that old dun 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 dun. I'm talking about in your prayer time where you get alone with yourself and your thoughts and you have a conversation with God. Does that have power? Uh, who wants to go and kick it off?
Everyone kick this one off.
Why don't you kick it off?
Oh, okay. I'll kick it off. Is there power in prayer? Is there power in the prayer? Not the prayer, but the one who's doing the praying. Is there power? Now, if you have power, then there's power in your prayer. But if you have no power, then your prayer will be powerless. To me, a large portion of the power of prayer is how much you believe in the prayer you're praying. And that is true. Now, this is going to upset some people. That is true of all faiths. Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian. There is power in prayer.
In the believer. So
I agree with you, but what you're saying is, of worms.
Yeah, it really is.
Don't be mad at me.
No, I mean I agree wholeheartedly with you, but really what that means is then
don't matter what you.
You don't have to really pray. You could just believe heavily in what you think or what you're, just speak out some words. It don't necessarily have to be to a God or anything like that. That you can say what you say and believe wholeheartedly in it, and then that power of belief brings it forth.
Well, is that not simply what is prayer? Let's talk about that.
Now, that's what I was gonna start with. Let's define what prayer is. Now, for me, I think the most simple version or definition of prayer that we can say is that it's a form of communication, a form of communication with, with whatever your God of choice is. If it's for us, it's Jesus and God. If it's Islamic, it's Muhammad and Allah, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm. Krishna, Buddha.
Right. I think that's the most simplest way we can define it. So with that, that's why I agree with you. I do think it comes down with the belief that you have to have a sort of belief in what you're saying or what you're speaking out in order to bring it forth. Now, but again,
But here it's scientifically proven that prayer works.
No. Well, it's not. It's scientifically proven that meditation works. Now, if you're going to cross those two things over, which I'm thinking you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what I want to develop a clear line between meditation and prayer.
Okay, come on.
So, okay. Meditation. There's been forms of what they're basically called, and I guess it's all semantics at the end of the day. If you're religious, you would call it prayer. If you're not religious, you would call it meditation or, communion, whatever you want to call it. Now, whatever that thing is that you're doing has been scientifically proven to change things
because prayer changes things. Come on now. I don't care about you looking at me like that.
And see, that's what happens, people, when you know. So it has been proven that stuff actually changes stuff like within the body. That's
not what I'm saying about the individual prayer. I'm talking about people had different groups assigned to pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that someone was praying for you, mm-hmm. they fared better in their health. They healed faster.
So knowing someone prayed for you, or so was it that they healed because they knew someone was praying for them, or was it because the prayer actually worked? That some kind of miraculous thing happened between the time you prayed and God answered, and then answered these specific prayers about the specific people you're talking about, which I'm sure Edwin is going to talk about in a second, but because I kind of know his stance on it. But I'm not.
Let us hear his stance. What is your stance, Brother Brown?
I don't know.
Oh,
go on, speak on it, dog.
I mean, from what you just said, it sounds like, I mean, technically, if you had a group of people praying for you, and that made you feel better, and it allowed you to heal, even if it was just because of how you felt internally, it did work. Mm-hmm. If you want to look at it that way, but then that's something else, though. I mean, how can you distinguish that the prayer worked or that you healed yourself from your own confidence?
Wait a minute. Let's go, and please, people, do your research, because I've done mine. They had a group of people who did not know that they were being prayed for or prayed for. Let me get my English correct. I'm an English teacher. They know they were being prayed for, and they also healed faster than the group that did not have the prayer. So
for every study that's like that, I can show you one that says something different. I mean, there's a group of people who were devil worshippers who, got sick and then got healed because they believed, they were going to be healed. So, I mean, for every study that's like that, or for every case. You said that
earlier. You said it could be Buddha, it could be Krishna, it could be God. It doesn't matter. You said as long as you have prayed, then it could have been into anybody. And that makes it, to me, that nullifies who you choose.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying prayer works, regardless of you knowing someone is praying for you or not. Prayer works. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let me ask a direct question then. As we're filming this, the whole thing about Paris, France is, still kind of fresh. We can all agree and say that before this happened, that we as a nation of people, because France is one of our allies, is one of the United States' allies, so that we as a nation pray for France, to protect them from hurt, harm, and danger, as we would, ourselves. Protect us from hurt, harm, and danger, as well as our allies, stuff like that. So why did the attacks happen in Paris? Now, before you answer, don't resort to God works in mysterious ways. Don't resort to that. Don't go to that.
I wasn't going to give a blanket answer.
Okay.
Here's my thing, that we cannot put all things on God. That man does what man does, and because of what man does, there are ramifications, there are repercussions because of what man does. And so, not saying that God doesn't hear and God doesn't answer, but sometimes we hinder blessings because we put
we're not talking about blessings, though. We're talking about
answered prayer. All right.
Yes.
I think that we hinder our prayers being answered because we counteract them with negative things. That's what happens. If you stay focused on the positive and work toward that thing in which you desire, then it will surely come to fruition. However, as it is human nature to err, we screw up.
Right.
And we mess up.
So what you're saying is that we supersede. What we do is, in our free will as human beings, supersedes the power of prayer. That's what you're saying.
I don't think that. I think that we nullify our prayer. Not that we're superseding it. If you believe that prayer and you stick with doing those things that work toward that prayer, then no, it wouldn't supersede. But when you alter the outcome.
Okay, well, let me go. I'm sorry.
Go.
I just need.
You're thinking hard over there. Are you ready to rebuttal?
One last question. So, let's flip the reverse. Let's say there's somebody praying for somebody to be hurt. Mm-hmm. Let's say that there's a group of people who are praying for Paris to be attacked, and technically there were people praying for this. There were also people praying against it. So, which one gets answered? Because we're talking about people who, in our video about Paris, France, we have people who were here in the United States, not Islamic people, just regular people, Christians who are against France and who would probably be on record as, God, you need to wipe this nation out.
I don't see that. But
look, no. Mm-hmm. It happened with New Orleans when Katrina happened.
That's true.
People were down there like, man, that should have happened to New Orleans people. That's exactly what happened to them.
You're right.
So, and people are saying that. So there are people who are praying against that nation. And we're talking about prayer as an overall thing, not a positive or a negative one. So then which one gets answered and which one has the power?
It's kind of like the two football teams and they both praying to win. I don't know if that's a God concern.
Well,
now you can
open up a whole new.
She keep getting me on this one. See,
Yeah,
because I
just-
believe in what you originally or what you were saying just now about man's ability to kind of hinder and supersede or basically how you said it that God doesn't nullify, but that we kind of construct the outcomes of what happened. So my question would be, what are the things that exist that man has not constructed? What are the things that are in existence now that we haven't caused to happen in some sort of way as humans? I'm not talking about God coming down, intervening, or anything like that. What is in existence right now that we haven't done ourselves?
I would love to hear you all's comments about this because we could go on all night, and all night I don't have.
Well, Edwin hasn't talked. Let's get Edwin in there.
You just basically said I was just going to talk about, you brought up the
Sports
the
team,
sports team, but it was how I remember it being brought up initially when I learned about it was a boxing match. Two boxers go in the ring. They're both praying to win. Mm-hmm. Okay, whose prayer is going to get answered? Is it the one who prays the most, or the one who has the most people praying for them? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, okay, well, what overrides the other prayer? Right. So it makes prayer very complicated to me in understanding how effective it can be. Yeah. And it's not that I don't fully believe in the power of it. It's just, how does it work? Because sometimes I just feel like how we perceive it should work, it may not work the way that we've been taught. So maybe we should rethink.
Yeah, that's
what it's about. And the pastor at the church I attend, he said it's just simple communication. It's just communicating with God, having a relationship. That's the way you build a relationship with God. But people have turned it into this highway of asking for things or wanting things in their favor. Yeah, and like people are literally praying that America is destroyed right now.
Right, exactly.
People are praying that abortion doctors fall dead. People are praying for any of
we're not talking about people of different faiths either. We're talking about Christian faiths who are praying stuff like that.
So how does God see that? Maybe someone has a valid reason to pray ill on someone else. Maybe someone hurts your daughter and you're praying for that person.
But is that a valid reason?
But
not in our eyes.
But I'm just saying,
it's still a prayer.
It's still a prayer. And if we're talking the general blanket, okay, how prayer works, then it should work for anyone, correct? And it's like putting a gun in a child's hand. I mean, if prayer's powerful like a gun, then maybe if it's supposed to work the way we've been taught, there could be people misusing prayer.
And it doesn't matter if a child pulls it, a baby, or an adult. It's the power of it still works. Yeah, it still works exactly the same. So
now that can open up a lot of discussion.
It is. I just think my whole thing about it is I do think, as with a lot of religion, and you guys listen, I don't want you to confuse this. Again, we're just having a conversation about this stuff. I think it's time for us to start conversing about these things so that we develop an understanding of what's happening, because a lot of us don't even know how to, especially as Christians, know how to be apologists and defend what we believe in. So I mean, I think this is very important for that, and to be able to describe what it is that we're talking about when we're trying to teach this stuff to people. So this is not in any way sort of indicative necessarily of what we think and what we believe. We're just having a conversation about it. So we wanted to make that clear. So,
but I do believe power works. You can put me on the books for that one.
But I just think it comes down to, for me,
I say power works or prayer works.
Prayer works.
Yeah, prayer works.
So
prayer
for me, I just think it comes down to that we've messed up and we've gotten some things wrong in our quest to be, the most spiritual and the most religious and the most right and all of this kind of stuff, and to not want to let go of tradition and a host of other things, greed, money, all of that kind of stuff. I think we've just kind of messed up in a lot of ways when it comes to religious thoughts and things like that. It's not that and some people's intentions are not even bad. Like, I don't think that preachers on a regular, or generally speaking, are up in their pulpits on Sunday thinking like, how can I get over on these people? I don't think that nobody really thinks like that. But the fact that they're in a system that has thought like that, or in a religion that has done that, they're part of the system too. And I think that that's what it all comes down to. So, anyway, any final thoughts on that?
Good.
So, yeah, we want to know what you guys think about the power of prayer. Does it work? If so, how does it work? If it doesn't work, tell us how does it not work? Are you religious? I mean, what do you think that people should be doing about this? Should prayer be in school still?
I would like to call on the psalmist Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Prayer still works.
There
And
you
I'm
go.
through.
There you have it, people. So, again, thank you for checking out this video. Drop
Thank
us a
you.
comment under here. Let us know what you
Please.
think, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Be careful.